mass organizations wearing uniforms, acting militant, sometimes even behaving like police, though they are not state apparatus. Who are they, really? From the independence militias to today's street power groups, Indonesia has a long history of civilian groups that present themselves in a military style. This is the story of Indonesian paramilitary organizations from the colonial era to GRIP and FBR. Of course, not every mass organization in Indonesia will be discussed in this episode. Only the most prominent ones. In the 19th century, resistance against colonial powers was carried out by people's militias. They were not official soldiers, but were armed, organized, and willing to die for their homeland. Figures like Prince Diponegoro, Tut Nyak Dien, and Teuku Umar led these movements. Meanwhile, the Dutch formed the NIL, a colonial force that recruited indigenous soldiers. This marked the first time Indonesians were systematically introduced to the military world. The arrival of the Japanese in 1942 opened a new chapter. The Japanese formed PITA, or more widely known as the Defenders of the Homeland, and Heiho, a military auxiliary. This was the first mass military training experience for Indonesians. Islamic groups were also allowed to form their own militias. For example, Laskar Hizbullah and Sabilillah. Laskar Hizbullah was formed in 1944 by the Indonesian Muslim Shura Council, also known as Masyumi, with Japanese approval. Originally, their mission was to help Japan in the Asia-Pacific war effort, but that plan was eventually dissolved, and they stood for the greater good of the Indonesian Muslim community and national defense. A key figure in Laskar Hizbullah was Kiai Haji Zainul Arifin. Laskar Sabilillah was also formed in 1944 by Islamic scholars in East Java as a religiously motivated force defending faith and country. One of its key figures was Kiai Haji Muhammad Mashkur, who later became Indonesia's Minister of Religious Affairs. These militias played a significant role in defending Indonesia's independence, including during the Battle of Surabaya in 1945. They were crucial forces when Indonesia declared its independence. On August 17, 1945, Indonesia declared independence. But the struggle wasn't over. Citizens formed various militias such as Tentara Pelajar, Laskar Rakyat, and LASWI, a women-only organization. These organizations were not part of the official army, but played major roles in defending independence. However, the government later demanded that all armed forces merge into Indonesia's military. Some militias refused, sparking new conflicts. Several paramilitary groups rebelled against the government. The most well-known was DITII, or Darul Islam Tentara Islam Indonesia, formed in 1949 and led by Sekarmaji Marijan Kartosuwiryo, who aimed to establish an Islamic state. Outside Java, there was PRRI, the revolutionary government of the Republic of Indonesia, declared in 1958 in West Sumatra by Lieutenant Colonel Ahmad Hussein and other civil military leaders. In South Sulawesi, Hermesta was established in 1957 by Lieutenant Colonel Venture Sumo. DITII, PRRI, and Hermesta were paramilitary uprisings that used armed resistance. They had command structures, military training, and even foreign connections. This era marked the use of paramilitaries as tools of rebellion. During the New Order, paramilitary groups transformed into civic organizations, often serving the ruling powers. Pemuda Pancasila, for example, was closely linked with Golkar and security forces. They appeared at political rallies, acted as security, and were even accused of suppressing political opposition. Pemuda Pancasila was founded in 1959 by figures linked to IPKI who were supporters of Indonesian independence, including Abdul Haris Nasution and other ex-soldiers and civil activists. Its original mission was to defend the Pancasila ideology and the 1945 Constitution, support Sukarno's leadership, and oppose communist influence, particularly the Indonesian Communist Party. Under both the old and new orders, they were used for political security and sometimes involved in political violence. Under Suharto, the group grew into a large organization with ties to the military, bureaucracy, and business circles. During the Reform era, Pemuda Pancasila tried to reform its image into a social, cultural, and nationalist organization, though it remained linked to violence and thuggery. Another organization, FKPPI, the Forum for Communication of Children of Retired and Active Military and Police, was formed on September 12, 1978 in Jakarta. It was a youth platform for children of military and police personnel. While not a political party, many of its members have joined nationalist parties, especially Golkar, due to ties with the New Order. During Suharto's era, FKPPI was seen as pro-military and pro-government. After reform, it repositioned itself as an open nationalist youth organization. Banser, or Multipurpose Ansor Front, part of the youth wing of Nahdlatul Ulama, or NU for short, was established in 1962 according to the NU Encyclopedia. NU is one of Indonesia's largest Islamic organizations. Banser plays a vital role in maintaining security and countering radicalism, grounded in the moderate Islamic tradition of Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. It was initially formed to protect NU and Muslim communities and to assist the state in maintaining order. Banser includes special units to handle threats like riots or religious terrorism. In many regions, Banser promotes social peace and combats potential radicalization or intolerance. They actively campaign for interfaith tolerance and Pancasila values, participating in interreligious dialogues and social programs. Banser also helps secure religious celebrations of all faiths, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, and Buddhism, as part of its commitment to national unity. The Reform era opened space for new organizations.
Saya memutuskan untuk menyatakan berhenti dari jabatan saya sebagai Presiden Republik Indonesia terhitung sejak saya bacakan pernyataan ini pada hari ini, Kamis 21 Mei 1998.
The Islamic Defenders Front, or FPI for short, was founded on August 17, 1998 in Jakarta by Habib Rizik Shihab and other clerics. FPI's mission was religious outreach, social work, and moral enforcement under the motto Amar Ma'ruf Nahi Munkar, meaning to enjoin good and forbid evil. However, their methods sparked controversy. FPI often conducted raids, especially during the holy month of Ramadan, leading to clashes. From the beginning, FPI was known as a street organization that merged preaching with crowd power. In 2016, FPI led the massive 212 protests demanding the imprisonment of then Jakarta's governor Basuki Cahayapurnama for alleged blasphemy. Afterwards, FPI's actions intensified. The government accused them of spreading hate and violating the law. The tipping point came in December of 2020 when 6 FPI members were killed in a shootout with the police on the Cikampek toll road. This sparked national attention. On December 30, 2020, the government officially disbanded FPI, citing lack of legal status and unlawful activities. Even more extreme than FPI was Laskar Jihad. Laskar Jihad, one of the most controversial post-reform Islamic militias, was founded in 2000 by Ustaz Jafar Umar Talib. It emerged during the sectarian conflict in Maluku and Poso that killed thousands. Bringing thousands of volunteers, they claimed to protect Muslims from armed Christian groups. But their presence worsened the conflict. Though they denied being terrorists, their weapons, military training, and rhetoric raised national and international alarm.
Pelecehan terhadap agama itu jangan dilaporkan ke polisi, sebab polisi memakai hukum taghut, hukum setan. Hendaknya kamu melaporkannya kepada parang atau kepada granat kalau punya.
Jafar Umar Talib was arrested for inciting violence but later released. Following the 2002 Bali bombing and increasing pressure, Laskar Jihad was officially disbanded.
Kalau ada tudingan bahwa pelaku peledakan bom di Bali itu adalah Islam garis keras, mestinya silakan diproses penyelidikan dan penyidikan itu secara intensif sesuai dengan koridor hukum yang berlaku begitu.
Jafar announced this on October 7, 2002. Short-lived, militant, and controversial, Laskar Jihad remains a dark chapter in Indonesia's paramilitary history. Forum Betawi Rempuk, or FBR for short, emerged to voice the concerns of the Betawi people who felt marginalized in their own land. Founded on July 29, 2001 by Betawi clerics Fatloli El Muhir and Lufti Hakim, it aimed to uphold Betawi identity, culture, and rights. FBR engages in social work, community security, and religious events, though it's also been involved in turf wars with other groups. Known for their black uniforms and hats, They often operate in land security and informal power zones. While they claim to maintain peace, violent incidents have made them controversial. Despite this, FBR also works to educate Betawi youth through cultural preservation, religious study groups, and martial arts. Grip Jaya, Gerakan Rakyat Indonesia Baru Jaya, founded in 2011 and led by former gangster Rosario de Marshall, or more widely known as Hercules, presents itself as a nationalist organization. Grip Jaya is involved in social, security, and political activities. Politically, they strongly support Prabowo Subianto, who won the 2024 to 2029 presidential election.
Ya tentunya saya pertama harga mati untuk Pak Prabowo udah 4 kali ini.
Despite denials from Grip and the government, many suspect a connection between Grip and the new administration. Grip Jaya has expanded to cities and regencies, but not without resistance from local communities. One violent incident involved Grip members torching a police car in Depok. 4 suspects were arrested. Grip has also clashed with Pemuda Pancasila. In May of 2025, Hercules sparked outrage by calling retired Lieutenant General Sutioso a motor mouth.
Pak Sutioso itu nggak usah menyinggung-nyinggung ormas. Saya mulutnya udah bau tanah.
And challenging ex-military commander Gatot Nurmantio.
Saudara Gatot Nurmantio, saya tidak takut sama Anda. Saya tidak menghargai Anda.
His remarks were condemned by the public and military veterans.
Satu, dia menghina pensiunan Kopassus. Kau juga menghina presiden saya, Jenderal Prabowo itu. Kau mana Jenderal Kopassus? Pangkostrat presiden saya.
President Prabowo, through retired General Dudung Abdul Rahman, rebuked Hercules.
Pesan Presiden bahwa ormas-ormas itu tidak boleh menyengsarakan masyarakat, memalak masyarakat, dan justru harus membantu masyarakat dalam rangka program pembangunan masyarakat ini, penekanan dan kata Presiden.
Hercules then apologized to each of them.
Minta maaf atas ucapan yang salah terhadap Bapak Purnama. Jenderal, aku minta maaf.
Grip Jaya remains active till this day, but the controversies raise a critical question. Are they a civic organization or a threat to democracy? Paramilitary organizations are part of Indonesia's historical legacy, from armed struggles to cultural symbols. But in this era of law and democracy, the question is simple. Are these uniformed civilian forces still necessary, or have they become a threat wrapped in identity? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on Indonesian history, culture, and popular knowledge.